Hey, looking for a great place to go practice shooting your bow? This week on Outdoor Oklahoma, we're going to showcase a brand new archery park near the town of Coweta. We'll also learn about how a similar facility might be coming to your town next. From the Oklahoma Department of Wildlife Conservation, Outdoor Oklahoma.
Pardon the pun, an offshoot of our Parks and Recreation program, because this is something that would fit in with a Parks and Recreation type activity for a community. It would be rare that a city would sponsor something that would have a shooting type background or basis to that, but that's how we are. We want to be the first in these issues. We want to be the city that can provide that extra mile and still maintain more of a hometown feel and allow opportunities for our youth to be able to stay home and to be able to do those things that are important, because we are still considered by our definition a rural community when it comes to those hunting activities. And so from an economic development standpoint, it is something that's going to benefit the city from people coming in. They're going to stay at our hotel, they're going to restaurants, and having it in a facility that is located at a sports complex is going to give that an advertisement that we won't be able to buy, because when those people come in for a tournament, all they have to do is turn this way and notice what we have here as well. So we think it's a great location. We can't thank the Oklahoma Department of Wildlife Conservation, the Archery Trade Association, and our city staff and city council for stepping up to the plate and doing this project, because we think it's a win-win for everyone involved.
Well, hello and welcome to Outdoor Oklahoma. I'm Todd Craighan, and today we're coming to you from the outskirts of Coweta. And to help me learn more about what's going on is our own Rich Fuller.
Todd, it's a special day here in Oklahoma. This is the dedication of Oklahoma's very first community archery park, and I guess instead of a ribbon cutting today, they're going to have an arrow launching. Appropriate, yes, for a public archery range. You know, these archery ranges, a public archery range is something that the Wildlife Department is trying to cooperate with other cities, not just Coweta, but something that we'd like to see expanded, and really an organization out there that's really instrumental in helping us do this is the Archery Trade Association. They have provided a seed grant, if you will, to the city of Coweta here, and as you're going to see, they have put this to tremendous use.
Well, that's great. We're going to learn more about this facility, as well as what Oklahoma is doing to bring more facilities like this to other Oklahoma communities. But first, let's hear from some of the officials that have made this terrific range a reality.
And on behalf of the city of Coweta, we certainly want to welcome you here to dedicate the first archery park in the state of Oklahoma. And from what you see so far, what do you think? Good? All right, that's what we want to hear. I can't tell you what a coming together of folks, what they can create when people come together. We had help from the Wildlife Department. The Archery Trade Association is a group that represents all the archer manufacturers in the United States, and we received a grant from them for the city of Coweta. The city of Coweta donated the land, and this is what we got. I have a lot of thank yous, and I hate to do this because I'll probably leave somebody out. But of course, the number one thank you would go to probably the Archery Trade Association for the forethought to bring this to Coweta. And you wonder, you say, why Coweta? Why Coweta? First one in the state, why Coweta? Well, if you're from Coweta, you know why. Why not Coweta? We have a bow hunting group of people here that go back. I'm 61 years old, and I can remember as a child that we had a bow hunting club here in Coweta. And these folks would go out on the weekends and do their deer hunting, their bow fishing. It is a big, big deal. It's kind of in our DNA right here in Coweta to bow hunt. And they could not have picked a better place to put it than Coweta, Oklahoma. The State Wildlife Department, for your help. Thank you for being the liaison and oversight. You guys have just been super to deal with. Big hand for the Wildlife Department.
Well, out at the Coweta Community Archery Park, there's some neat aspects to this park, specifically the tower stand that was constructed. It's great for bow hunters. One of the keys is on the stand, you've got to use a tree stand safety harness to shoot with. There'll be targets off of this stand that will range from 20 to 40 yards, so give the avid archer an opportunity to practice at those different distances. Another feature that's out here is a flat shooting area where you can shoot from 20 to 50 yards on the adult range, and in a small youth range that goes from 10 to 20 yards. Another neat thing about the park that they constructed here at Coweta is the targets are actually made so that they can be moved, and if they want to host a fetus shoot for a club that wants to do the field archery, they can shoot out to 70 meters to the berm, and all those targets can be moved out to 70 meters. Or if they want to do a youth event for school kids, they can set all the targets up at 15 yards or 20 yards. So it's really a neat area. There's also a storage facility out here for additional targets that can be used for events and activities that take place throughout the year.
Well, I'm back here with Rich, and as you can see, this is what we hope will be the first of many different facilities like this across the state. Rich, tell us about how this has become more of a focus for us here at the department.
Well, Todd, absolutely. I'd love to see a bunch of these going around communities around the state here in the next 5-10 years. But basically, just providing a place for people to shoot. You know, as people well know, if you've been watching the show at all over the recent years, we have a very, very successful archery in the schools program now. I think something like 400 plus schools. That program is still growing, but this is kind of the missing cog in the wheel.
Sure.
This is providing a good place, a good safe place for those kids, especially in the archery in the schools, to go and shoot their bows after school, on the weekends, during the summertime. And you know, it's really a grassroots thing. The ATA has been very generous in their support here in Coweta, and they're providing some matching grants to other states to get these things going, and I'm a little embarrassed to admit, but we're somewhat behind some other states. Alabama, for example, has about 13 of these archery parks now, and every place that they've put one, two things have happened. Number one, there's an instant archery club that forms around one of these facilities. And the second really neat thing about that is, in most cases, it's multi-generational. You've got kids out there shooting, their parents are shooting with them, and even their grandparents are shooting, which I'm not down on baseball or soccer, but you know, most of the grandparents are cheering from the sidelines. Here's a sport where they're getting out there and doing it with the kids.
That is great. You know, we visited with a couple folks here today to get their view on what they think about archery ranges.
First thing I think about are the kids. It's a neat opportunity to introduce archery to schools, to children that have never had an opportunity to experience archery. It gives me a lot of satisfaction to know that these kids are going to have something other than traditional sports. It gives them an opportunity to compete when they otherwise may not have a chance to compete. They're able to be a part of something. They're able to do this, carry this home. They're able to take it eventually, hopefully, to the woods. and understand what it is to be a steward of the outdoors. And I just think that with what ATA's done and with what the Wildlife Department's done for these kids and for opportunity, it's going to pay dividends that you won't see in any other way.
Oh, something that definitely worked in McAllister. I really had no idea what to expect when we came. You know, I had read through the archery guide and kind of got a general idea of what it was all about, but really, really impressive. I don't see why McAllister can't do something very similar. This is a nice facility, and McAllister has a big archery community. I think we can get a lot of people behind it. I know the mayor and the city council, city manager will be behind this. I told them I was coming today, and they were excited about it. So I don't see any reason why McAllister can't do something very similar.
Great.
It's an unbelievable opportunity. When it comes down to a crossover, to something that you can do that will touch a completely different base of your city and of the Parks and Recreation Department, you have an opportunity to develop something that these people can do 12 months out of the year. It's not something that, it's not seasonal. It doesn't run, you know, for a 3-month period and you don't practice and then play in a game and then you stop. It's something that continues and is generational. You can offer up as a family. We talked about some different opportunities that this thing allows, and the one that you brought up that I'm going to mention is the opportunity for communities to get together and compete, get to know each other, and be involved in something that kind of transcends boundaries. You get to, you know, a young lady, a young man, families, grandparents, father and mothers. It's an opportunity to bring the city together.
Well, it's centrally located here in this part of Oklahoma, northeastern Oklahoma, and kids can come from all over to shoot. It's open during daylight hours, so get some place to shoot.
Well, Rich, those are some pretty positive comments.
Well, yeah, absolutely. And I was so encouraged to see someone else that came to this dedication today, the gentleman from McAllister, and hopefully we might be seeing one of these built there soon. And also the retailer. Mm-hmm. You know, that's a big deal with the Archery Trade Association. That's how they generate funds to help cities like this with these facilities, is through their trade show. So they're an important cog in that wheel and system, and it benefits these kind of facilities, benefits the retailers, it benefits us, the Wildlife Department. So it's really it's a full circle type situation, and glad to hear those comments.
Well, that's great. You know, we'll learn more about Oklahoma's Community Archery Park Initiative when we come back right after this week's Outdoor News Report. Big changes are happening this year to the check-in process for all deer, elk, and some turkey hunters. We've transitioned to an entirely online check system now. So let's walk you through the process. Whether you're using a smartphone, a tablet, or a home computer, the process is still the same. First, go to wildlifedepartment.com. From the home page, click on the Online Check Station icon. Then fill in the fields and hit Next. On the next screen, select the location where you made your harvest by either clicking on the map or typing in the location number. Next, fill out your personal information and the harvest data. Then click Submit Form. Review your carcass tag information and print it off. If you don't have access to a printer, you can simply write down your confirmation number and put it on your field tag instead. The law requires that you check in your deer, turkey, or elk within 24 hours of leaving your hunt area. So you can either do it in the field on a mobile device or on a computer. But if you have neither, anyone else with internet access and your information can check it in for you and just give you the confirmation number. We encourage you and whoever might possibly check in an animal for you to become familiar with the process ahead of time. Good luck this year, and remember, hunters in the know let young bucks grow.
As you're getting ready to go hunting this season, one of the most important things you can do, if you haven't already, is take a hunter education class. Well, the Oklahoma Department of Wildlife Conservation has made it easier than ever if you're an Oklahoma resident who is 10 years of age or older to offer hunter education certification completely online. If you are an Oklahoma resident who is 10 years of age or older, you can go online and be completely certified. You never have to go to a class. Our online hunter education class is available at wildlifedepartment.com.
Oklahoma's winter trout season kicked off a few days ago on November 1st. Specific season dates and regulations apply to each individual area, so be sure to consult the Oklahoma Fishing Guide. If you've never experienced trout fishing in Oklahoma, we'd encourage you to give it a try this year. Just look in the Fishing Guide for most all the information you'll need to get started. Once you do, we bet you'll be hooked. You'll also want to know that trout stocking schedules for each individual area are posted on the department's website at wildlifedepartment.com. From the fishing page, click on Where to Fish, then on Trout for the stocking schedule. You're watching Outdoor Oklahoma.
Find out more news of the week at wildlifedepartment.com.
Hey guys, come over here for a second. Let me chat with you. How was that?
It's pretty fun.
Yeah? You ever shot from up high
Next
like that
floor,
before?
come on around.
Well, it depends what you call high, but
Yeah.
not that high.
Yeah. Did you hit your target?
I did. I hit all of them.
Make you want to go climb up in a tree stand?
Yeah, the harness was a little big though. It was like down here,
Yeah.
but otherwise it was pretty fun.
The park here was funded in part by the Archery Trade Association. The city of Coweta donated the land for the use of the park, but the actual Archery Trade Association is the organization that helped come up with the majority of the funding for this community archery park. They're looking, as the State Wildlife Department is, we're looking for more partners, cities in the future to construct additional parks. In the future, there may or may not be funding available for cost sharing on the park, so those cities that are interested in getting the park established now should step right up and they can potentially get what Coweta did by community archery park, pretty much established through a grant through the Archery Trade Association.
Okay, Rich, I'm trusting you. Why on earth did you bring me out here to this pitcher's mound?
You know, Todd, I wanted to point out something that the ATA really loved this particular site when they came out to Oklahoma and visited several months ago. Mm-hmm. Number one, you got a high traffic area with the Muskogee Turnpike and Highway 51 that intersect right here. But you also got a very vibrant sports complex out here that's already existing. We got lots of softball and baseball fields, some soccer fields down the way. Mm-hmm. And so this is cross promotion. Sure. You're going to have a buzz of activity out here, especially in the spring and summer in baseball. Mm-hmm. You're going to have tournaments. Well, when people come out here for tournaments, they're going to see this archery park. And I guarantee you that that's going to be a light bulb for a lot of people, especially parents. Hey, you know, there's some downtime with baseball tournaments. Hey, I bring my bow, my arrows. I can get over there, get a couple hours of some pretty good practice. So pairing these archery parks with existing sports facilities, that's something that's a great idea.
You know, Rich, this is really kind of a turning point for us at the Wildlife Department, trying to get people interested in the outdoors, and it's not the only new news we have.
No, it's not. And, you know, Todd, of course, people are probably familiar with several of our education programs. We talk about them all the time on the show. Hunter education, fishing in the schools, the archery in the schools program, the explore bow hunting. We now have yet one more education program, and we're very excited to tell you about the Scholastic Shooting Sports Program. It's a program based upon shotgun shooting for schools.
Right. You know, you've probably heard about our STEP program for years. That stands for Shotgun Training Education Program. Well, this new program is just a re-emphasis of that existing education program.
Todd, a few months ago, we had our very first training for the shooting sports program, and we handpicked a lot of the schools that are doing all the other education programs, and we had a chance to go visit this training workshop for the very first schools in the state that will be having shotgun training as part of their outdoor curriculum.
Well, you may have heard the Department of Wildlife is actually starting a new program called the Oklahoma Scholastic Shooting Sports Program. And what you see behind us is actually our first training of our pilot schools, where we're actually working with them on trap basics, and they're getting to do a little bit of shooting out here behind us, and they're going to be taking this back into the schools and working with the youth there. And you know, we're going to be having state shoots and hopefully give your kids an opportunity to do this in their schools. When we wanted to first start this Scholastic Shooting Sports here with the Oklahoma Department of Wildlife, we actually went to some other states that were already doing youth shooting sports programs, like Arkansas and Iowa, Missouri, Texas, and those we took into account what they were doing and also what we're already doing in our schools with our archery in the schools, our explore bow hunting, fishing in the schools, and we created a program that would work great for all the schools and give the best amount of participation and allow more youth to be able to be involved with the shooting sports. There are lots of programs that already exist out there that are youth-based shooting programs that are in the schools or in school-related type activities like FFA, 4-H, and the main thing on all these shooting programs, you have to have a big safety base to them, and you have to adhere to those safety rules and make sure that everyone is following them. If everyone follows the safety rules like they're supposed to, then there's virtually no way that anyone can have an accident or an accidental shooting or anything like that. So these safety parameters are at utmost importance with these programs. Of course, with the Wildlife Department, we are hunting and fishing based, and we are funded through the Sportsmen and Fishermen of Oklahoma. And of course, shotgun shooting, it goes back to, you know, way back before I was ever born, of course. But it is a pastime that has been passed down for generations, and we hope to increase that love of the outdoors through shooting sports and give them the ability to hone their skills and possibly even take that out into the field and do some hunting down the future. So of course the department is really excited about that opportunity to get the youth in there and hopefully create the opportunity for those kids to maybe become hunters down the road.
You know, Rich, that looks like a lot of fun.
I think these kids would shoot until our man over there's thumb wears out.
That's exactly right. You know, we've covered a lot of ground today, and what I want to do is really just take one more last minute and re-recognize the organizations that help make this possible.
Absolutely, Todd. You know, the ATA, the Archery Trade Association, provided the generous donation to the city of Coweta, and also the city of Coweta donated the property here.
Sure.
And it's been a great marriage. And as far as the shooting sports program, that program would not be a reality had it not been from a generous donation from the Brenda Potterfield Trust, and that's providing some grant monies to these schools to get that program off and running.
Hey, that's great. You know, if you're in this neck of the woods, east of Coweta, on the other side of the Muskogee Turnpike. You really owe it to yourself to check out the Coweta Archery Park. I think you'll be just as impressed as we are with it.
It's open daylight to dark, so there's no excuse not to come out here. It's all free.
That's great. Hey, thanks for joining us today. We'll see you right here next time on Outdoor Oklahoma.
All right, guys, it's my turn to shoot.